Now's the time to be part of the team at Team Toyota. Step up to the plate with a winning lineup of new Toyota models like the new 4Runner, Grand Highlander, and coming soon, the all-new 2026 RAV4. Or find something perfect for your game plan and your budget with over 300 certified used Toyotas available. And don't sweat a trip to the IL. Our service and collision centers will have you back in the game in no time. So slide in one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, or Glen Mills, or take a swing online at teamtoyota.net. It's us, it's you, it's the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. I am Spencer McKercher, co-host of the podcast. We got to do intros again, Sean.
Co-host of the podcast.
Co-host of the podcast, digital video producer here at NBC Sports Philadelphia. And I'm once again joined by the one, the only, Sean Kane, host of the Phillies pre- and post-game shows here on NBC Sports Philadelphia as well. So, Kaner, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Spence.
Happy Saturday to everybody.
Yeah.
Big day. Hope everyone enjoys it. There's a lot of sports going on. You got a packed college football slate. You got the Ryder Cup going on.
Yep.
But more importantly, you have the Philadelphia Phillies clicking on all gears, especially after an unreal performance from Aaron Nola on Friday night in a 3-1 win over the Minnesota Twins, who, as we know, pretty much sold their entire team at their deadline or at the trade deadline.
Yep.
It's still a big league lineup, but man, did Aaron Nola look vintage Aaron Nola on Friday night.
Yeah, vintage is the word. He looked like Aaron Nola at his peak back in 2018, through basically 2023, that top 10 perennial Cy Young type of guy. Granted, not against the best lineup in baseball,
sure,
but he came out, he threw strikes, 9 strikeouts, no walks, didn't give up a hit until the 6th inning. He's perfect through 5 2/3. He just really needed it. In terms of his season, it's been what it is. He's sprinkled in a few good starts, but for the most part, it's been by far the worst season of his career.
Yeah.
He's been injured. He missed half the season. He came back. He really wasn't much better. His last start in Arizona wasn't particularly good. He had the good start against the Mets a couple starts ago, but anyhow, just really needed it. Really needed it for himself and really to give his teammates and his coaching staff and his manager confidence in him, which I think the biggest point is if he is pressed into action as a postseason starter, which if they make the NLCS, I think he will be, they have a little more confidence in him because now in their minds, the last time they saw him, he looked great. 8 innings, 1 run against the Twins, and just really, really good to see him pitch that way again. The stuff was great. Again, the lineup that he went up against wasn't as good as some of the teams he will be facing in the postseason, but all in all, I think encouraging is probably the best word I could come up with.
I think that's a good way to put it too. It was very encouraging, and I know it is his last start of the regular season. Heck, if things go terribly wrong in a week from now, it could be the last time we see Aaron Nola in 2025, but I don't think that will be the case.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just the best Aaron Nola that we've seen in quite a long time.
Yeah.
And just for his confidence, for the Phillies' confidence, and just to piggyback off, which we'll get to here shortly, but just to piggyback off of great pitching performances that we've seen these starters have basically ever since Zach Wheeler went down.
Yeah.
And to have an outing like that, again, whether that Minnesota Twins lineup is what it is, whatever. But to be perfect, they're 5 2/3, which we were kind of knocking on wood all night. But he looked electric, and his fastball command was amazing. He was untouchable. The most pitches he threw in an inning was 14.
Wow.
He was just efficient the entire night. And you made a good point just about Aaron's season in general. And I thought Ruben's point on Phillies Postgame Live on Friday night was really strong. We've seen, and you and I kind of talked about it on the podcast pretty much all season, when Aaron Nola got hurt, it's really the first time in his career that he had to deal with injuries and being on the IL. This is kind of still him ramping up.
Yeah.
And it's also unknown territory for Aaron in terms of he's not used to having bounce back and coming off the IL and getting back into the groove of things. So it took him a little bit.
Yep.
And he had the rib, the foot, whatever else was going on with Aaron all season. But to just have a performance like that on Friday, I think it should boost his confidence going into the playoffs. And Rob Thomson was asked, Aaron was asked about what this could be for Aaron in terms of the playoffs, where we could see him. Could be out of the bullpen. It could be a Game 4 starter in the NLDS or in the NLCS.
Yeah.
But Aaron's answer after the postgame in the clubhouse was, hey, he's been here for such a long time. He's willing to do whatever it takes to help this team win the World Series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's really what's missing from his his resume. He's been one of the top Cy Young finishers. He's been an all-star, and obviously he won a pennant a few years back, but he wants a World Series too. He's been around here longer than anybody else. We should also mention on Friday night, he passed Robin Roberts.
Yes.
For second all-time in Phillies career strikeouts, which is no small feat. Franchise we always talk about is going on 150 years. I think 143 now. And really the only pitcher in Phillies history with more strikeouts than Aaron Nola is the greatest pitcher in Phillies history, Steve Carlton.
Correct.
And there's some names under him that are very impressive. Robin Roberts, obviously, Cole Hamels, obviously, Kurt Schilling, and so on, Grover Alexander. So elite company, elite career. It's not been a good season for him. I think we all pull for him. We all feel bad for him. We all know he's grinding. Obviously, he was frustrated missing so much time. So it was a feel-good night, Friday night at the ballpark. And yeah, like you said, he wants a World Series, and he's going to do whatever it takes. And frankly, if they're going to win a World Series, they're going to need him. At some point, they're going to need him, whether it's starting Game 4 of the NLCS, starting whatever game of the NLCS, or out of the bullpen at some point in the DS or even the CS again. So Aaron Nola will be heard from again if they're going to win a World Series. So it's good to see him get a little positive momentum heading into the postseason.
It is. And you mentioned it. That is no small feat to be the second in strikeouts in Phillies franchise history. You mentioned a club that's been around for 100+ years, and for him to be second, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And you mentioned some of those names, even Zach Wheeler on that list too. It's a big deal, and it's going to be tough to catch old lefty. He's what I guess I think he
needs another like 1,200.
Yeah, I was going to say like 12 or 1,300. Could be
tough.
Could be tough. We have 5 more years, Aaron Nola. Who knows?
It's true. Yeah,
it's going to be tough to catch lefty, but yeah, it's incredible. And like you said, I think we will see Aaron Nola at some point, which I guess we can dive into now. The guy that he piggybacked off of on Thursday. Well, real quick too, the homer that he allowed. I thought this was a cool stat. The homer that he allowed in the 6th inning to Christian Vasquez of the Twins. It was the first earned run allowed by a Philly starter in 26 innings.
Crazy.
Which is, again, kind of piggybacking off of what I said, the start, the pod. That's incredible. And the starting pitching has been great. As we transition to Walker Buehler on Thursday in the series finale against the Marlins, the Phillies take 2 of 3 against the Marlins, eliminate them from postseason contention. They beat the Mets on Friday, though. So, and as we sit down, I believe the Reds are winning right now. So
they're up 3-1 against the Brewers.
That would switch. So heading in, happy Saturday to your Mets fans out there. If you're listening to this pod, shout out. Thank you. But yeah, so on Thursday, though, Walker Buehler, 5 scoreless innings. He looked really good. And his quote after the game, too, I thought really caught my eye, was him saying basically the same thing that Aaron did. He wants to be, whether it's a cheerleader on the sideline in the dugout, or whether that's being a starter, a relief pitcher, whatever it is, Walker Buehler's here to help this team win a World Series. And he wants to celebrate in that locker room with the champagne and the beers flowing, knowing that he did something. And it's going to be a fun debate here as next week kind of rolls around, of where we're going to see Walker Buehler, Taijuan Walker, who also threw 2 scoreless innings, struck out 3 over 2. But where's your sense on kind of where Walker Buehler is going to be come postseason time?
I think he'll be on the NLDS roster, and I think he'll be coming out of the bullpen. I think he's shown them enough where they can count on him if something, God forbid, goes awry with one of the starters, gets knocked around early, and you need a couple guy to come in, take down a couple innings. You can go to Walker Buehler. He's pitched in 3 games now with the Phillies, and he's got the win in all 3. 2 starts in that relief appearance where he piggybacked off of Taijuan and Arizona. ERA under 1 now for and obviously very small sample size. 2 starts in a relief appearance, and we realize he wasn't good in Boston, so we're not going to snap our fingers and think it's vintage Walker Buehler, but certainly encouraging. Obviously, he's done some work with the Phillies pitching coaches, and they may have found a little something, and so far the adjustment has worked, and he looked good. Thursday, 5 scoreless, as you said. So, and how about Thursday too, by the way? After he takes down 5 innings, he goes out to the pen. It's like, just go throw some more pitches in the pen. Reminded me of a golfer going out and shooting like a 68, and then going to the range and just pounding balls for an hour. Like, just grinding it out, man. Just give me more.
It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. So he wants to get the endurance up and the pitch count. But yeah, I think he's going to be a part of their postseason plans. I do think if all things equal, I do think they'll go to Nola before him to start a game at this point.
Yeah.
When they need that fourth guy at some point in the postseason to start, I think that'll be Nola, not Buehler. But I think Buehler has proven his worth to have him around the postseason roster. I would certainly prefer him, or I would be more comfortable with him than Taijuan in that role, is what I'm trying to say.
I think I'm with you. Again, it's so funny, the seesaw we mentioned on the last podcast, the seesaw of going back and forth with Aaron Nola and Walker Buehler, and are we going to see Aaron Nola after this? And then to have Aaron kind of look vintage Aaron Nola on Friday, it changes your mind. And whether it's one starter or not, that's the Aaron Nola that we're used to seeing. That's the Cy Young level type pitcher that Aaron Nola is, and that we've been well accustomed to over the last few years.
Right.
It's hard. It's going to be hard to not give him a starting spot in a game 4 of the playoffs. So we'll see what happens.
But I mean, if the DS goes 4 or 5 games and doesn't end until Friday or Sunday, game 1 of the CS rolls around that following Monday, you could see Nola in game 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Depending on if Sanchez has to go twice.
That's a good point.
Ranger has to go twice. Maybe it's Luzardo in game 1 and then Nola goes game 2 of the CS.
That's true too.
So depending on, where their pitching is at that point, you could see him before game 4 of the NLCS.
What an interesting storyline as next week rolls around, the playoffs get going here. But for Walker, it is really cool to see him kind of, and I feel like he's been mentioning that a lot over the last few times that he's been talking to the press after his start or his performance or whatever he ends up doing. I think the DFA really messed with his mind. Being released by the Red Sox really kind of, it's a huge setback for somebody that has success in the playoffs and has had success over his entire career in the regular season as well.
Not that old, seemingly still in his prime.
Correct.
Age-wise.
Yeah, exactly. And for him, I think it's been weighing on him because he's been mentioning it a lot. But for him to come here and, have a .66 ERA over 13 2/3 innings, I think it's a huge bounce back start. And it's just another weapon that the Phillies can use in the postseason, which is a really good thing to have, because we've been saying that the pitching depth, it kind of looked a little scary there after Wheeler went down. But the way that everyone stepped up, and Dave Dombrowski adding Walker Buehler to this scenario really, really is intriguing. And then, you mentioned Taijuan too. His post-game comments too were great. He's just taken the brunt of all this, and he's mentioned so many times how it's the back and forth has really kind of messed with him, being a starter to a reliever, back to starter, back to a reliever. But he almost said, I got the idea after his comments on Thursday night. He almost sounds like he'd be willing to come out of the bullpen, because he's been great out of the bullpen since he's kind of made that transition to being a bullpen pitcher. Yeah.
No, I'm sure he's willing to do whatever it takes, and he just wants to be on the roster, and that's understandable. He's done whatever they've asked of him. So, he's proven he's been able to do it out of the bullpen and pitch effectively. But again, I think that Walker Buehler is probably more, and frankly, Nola's going to be on the DS roster too. So, if you need to start, if one of the starters gets roughed up early, you need somebody to come in. They go to Nola before they would go to Walker. I think. So I just don't know where his spot would be. We'll see. We'll see what the roster looks like. But I'm guessing he might not be on the NLDS roster. And we talked about this in the last podcast. He wasn't on the DS roster for the last couple of years, especially 23 at 15 wins, had a decent regular season, and he wasn't on it. And he was upset about that. But I just think that he's going to get it's going to be a numbers game. And I don't know where he kind of fits in on the NLDS roster at this point.
But just claps to Taijuan. He said it too on Thursday, just a night and day difference from his 2024 season to his 2025 season. Yeah. And I completely agree with him. For him just kind of to lock it in a little bit this season has been really impressive. And
shout out going to start next year without Zach.
Correct.
And who knows about Painter, and who knows about whatever. So Taijuan has one more year left on his deal. Yeah. He's been needed.
And who knows about Ranger Suarez?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right. So
look at us.
Yeah.
Come on,
look at us.
Right?
Look at
we didn't
so who knows?
that.
Taijuan is got one more year left. And if this is it for him in 25, I agree. It was a step in the right direction after last year. And, we'll see if he's on the team next year. And if so, that they might need him in that rotation to start the season.
That they will, which is a fun thought. Let's go to Wednesday now in a win over the Marlins. Just another kind of gritty win. But what can you say about Jesus Luzardo?
Yeah.
I mean, he's now tied with Paul Skeens for the National League lead in strikeouts. They both have 216.
Yep.
Him and Christopher Sanchez are the only two duos in any pitching staff with 200 plus strikeouts this season. It's just been an unreal season for Jesus Luzardo, and something that we didn't really see. He had those middle starts where he had his ERA above an 8. And then in the last, 5 or 6 starts since he kind of had that blow up starts, and after he got the tipping kind of situated, his ERA is down to, I think, like a 3. And what he's done for this team this season, I think, exceeded his expectations and surely exceeded my expectations as well.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he's had a career year. Like his ERA, I think, has been lower in a couple different seasons. ERA, by the way, is under 4 for the season, which after those implosion starts, to get that thing back to under a 4 speaks to how well he pitched in the last month and a half of the season. Career high in wins, career high in innings pitched, career high in strikeouts this year. So, I don't know how you don't look at it as a hugely successful season for him, especially after his 24 season, which he was cut down by injuries, multiple injuries, barely pitched at all, just to stay healthy and take the ball, I believe, 32 starts. I think was just, the durability alone was impressive. And then his effectiveness. I mean, I know you can't do this in baseball, but you take out 3 or 4 of those starts, his ERA is in the low 3s. Like, take out that Milwaukee start at home, the start in Toronto. He had a couple rough ones after that later in the season, but just to get his ERA under a 4, pitch the way he did, he keeps in games, and his stuff is really good, man. Like, he added that sweeper to the mix. He throws hard. He's up at 98, 99. So yeah, I think he starts game 3 is my guess of the DS, which would be Saturday, October 4th, Wednesday, October 8th, which is a long time between starts. So it's going to be imperative that these guys stay sharp. But I think he's your game 3 guy. And, if that goes well, I think he gets another start in the CS, and he's going to be a big part of their postseason plans. And, they're going to need him. But yeah, he's been great. Great season. Good for him. Stay healthy, pitch well, ups and downs. And he really weathered those storms throughout the year because there were some bad starts, but he hung with it. And I thought he just did a really excellent job and a great trade in hindsight.
Yeah. And going back, that start in New York in Citi Field where he yelled at the umpire. It was a frustrating start all around for him. Yeah. Where he said, "Wake the bleep up. This isn't the minor leagues," to the umpire. But that could be almost a defining moment for Jesus Luzardo this season. I saw a tweet about this. He's 3-1 since that start with a 2.60 ERA, and kind of bringing that fire out after that start against the Mets, where the division kind of looked a little sketchy at times. Just for him to come out and pitch the way he has really, really been impressive. Where it's funny because I look at that when the trade happened this offseason, it was kind of a stunner in my opinion. You send Starlin Caba, one of your top prospects, to Miami, which we haven't really heard about Starlin Caba in 2025. I'm sure we will down the road. But in reality, I think that's one of the best trades. You could throw, obviously, Duran and the Bader trade up there, but that's one of the best trades that David Dombrowski has made as a Phillies executive so far in his tenure as a Phillies executive. Yeah, no doubt. And when he made it, it was like, oh, interesting that they're outing another starting pitcher. They really don't need a starting pitcher because you figure, Ranger and Sanchez and Nola, who has been before this season had been cruising along just fine, and Wheeler. He still had Taiwan. Obviously, we all thought Painter was up at some point in 25, so it was. It seems like they're kind of adding a luxury here, this guy, as your 5th starter. But then, sure enough, Ranger gets hurt. Painter never comes up. Nola struggles, misses half the year. I mean, imagine where they would be without him. Yeah, I mean, he's by far their 3rd best starter. I'd argue even second.
You could, Rangers had his ups and downs. I get that. Like, I wouldn't, again, with a few starts, Luzardo, you take those away. He's excellent. He's all-star caliber. So, where would they be without him? Great trade. And it's, the saying is, you can never have enough pitching. And sometimes you're like, well, you can't because you never know what's going to happen to these guys. Injury, ineffectiveness, otherwise. And they really needed Luzardo. They needed everything he gave them every 5 days. And great move. Great to have him. And who would have thought he'd be lining up to start one of these games in the NLDS?
And especially coming from the season that he had with Miami and having kind of the when he was with Oakland too, just a top prospect, and it didn't really work out there. And for him to come here and find his footing and really just kind of fit into this team as well, just with the fire that brings that everyone brings with this team. It's been really special. And it just goes to show. So I saw this too. Quality starts this season for starting pitchers. The Phillies have 83 quality starts this season.
Wow.
Second place is Boston with 71.
Yeah. 12 more.
Insane, dude. Yeah. Just kind of a wild. And I know Tom said something too. Phillies. So this is the 26th time. Aaron Nola on Friday it was the 26th time that a Phillies starter has gone 7 innings and allowed 1 run or less.
Wow.
26 times this season, dude.
Yeah.
What a job for
great outing
for the starting pitching.
Yeah, it's like a 7th of the season that you're getting guys doing that.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So quick segment here. We're going to shift over to our guys, Ruben Amaro Jr. and Tom McCarthy with a message from Temple Health.
Hey, T-Mac, another great day, best fans, the best city. How lucky are we?
It doesn't get much better than this. But I got to tell you, Our guy missed a lot of the game last night. I think he missed almost a full inning going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I noticed. I mean, he said he kept feeling like he had to go, and then nothing would come out.
I think he went back 3 times before the 7th inning. Now, that's more than just having too many beer bats.
Nope, it sounds like BPH. It's more common than you think.
Well, it's time to stop holding it about prostate health. Good thing we've got our friends at Temple Health who are way smarter about these things than we are. Let's let the doc explain. So, Doc, what's going on with our guy?
It sounds to me like he's got this problem called BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. It really means that guys just have trouble peeing.
But there's a solution to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. At Temple Health, there are doctors that really specialize in BPH. Aquablation is one of those things that we offer that many people don't, and other things like prostate enucleation as well. Both of them are minimally invasive that really help guys.
And for most patients, they come out of it feeling fine.
Yeah, I think most patients have a really simple recovery that's straightforward.
Well, that's a big win because it's better than going to the bathroom a dozen times during a ball game.
Oh, absolutely. These results for guys are long-lasting. Let's face it, prostate health shouldn't be keeping guys out of the game.
Hey, I ran into our guy again. No more backroom sprints. He's back in the game.
He told me it was like the most relief he's had in years, in more ways than one. I mean, he even stayed for extra innings.
Aquablation therapy at Temple Health. Get back in the game. Visit templehealth.org.
You know, Ruben always says that after every post-game show, where that's like Emmy type stuff.
Yes.
Stuff really isn't the word that he uses,
Right.
but Emmy type stuff.
Mhm.
I mean, that commercial, man.
Ruben has some acting chops.
Dude, it's there. for
Yeah.
him.
He was on the Goldbergs before he's got his SAG card. He's always telling me that. He was on the Goldbergs way back when. He has that commercial that we just had.
Mhm.
We do some Rita's Water Ice
Oh, yeah.
commercials as part of our partnership with Rita's, and he really, sets the standard with those a couple different times. So he's just really a talented guy.
And hey, we got to show him some love. You know, we got the Phillies Talk show, which they do a great job, great podcast with Jim Salisbury, Todd Selecki, and Ruben. So glad to have Ruben on our side as well sometimes.
Yeah.
And yeah, shout out to his acting skill.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Man of many talents.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So going back to Wednesday too, we said fun game, and it surely was. They
Yeah.
had a franchise record 8 home runs.
8 dingers.
I was swamped with my work, and it was
Yeah.
just like, holy cow. I felt like, do you ever see that meme? You're not a big, really internet guy, are you? But
No, man.
yeah, you're there.
I'm looking away on the web every once in a while.
According to Duels, you know.
Yeah, Duels
Yeah,
helps me out, connects me.
Yeah.
Fire
But
up the
you ever
modem.
see that one where it's like the lady, I believe she's like finishing up, like it was when like the Popeyes chicken sandwich
Yes,
came
I
out.
have seen that.
She's
And
like leaning down
yes.
over the thing. That's
Yeah.
how I felt.
Right, after the 8 homers.
After all the homers.
Yeah.
But really, what a remarkable job from this offense. And just the fact, obviously, you have Kyle Schwarber
Mhm.
hitting 2, which that's kind of leading into this. But the fact that it's Alec Boehm, Bryson Stott,
Yep.
Edmundo Sosa, and Otto Kemp,
Yeah.
it goes to show that this team really, really is clicking at the right time, especially when you have guys like that. That's good, especially, by the way.
Yeah.
Especially when you have guys like that kind of producing all these runs in a fun game on Wednesday.
No doubt. Yeah. 5 guys combining for 8 home runs, franchise record, 8 dingers, which is crazy. 4 of which were in the 7th inning. They just started piling up one after another. Obviously, Schwarber hitting 2, get himself to 56. Sosa, first shortstop in Phillies history with 3.
Insane.
And first day off the IL. Guy misses a week and a half. And both, he's like, but him and Bone both come off the IL hotter than they've been all year.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah. But yeah, and then Stott, I think the furthest home run of his career. That was a bomb
441.
he hit that night.
441. And it was his first home run against a lefty in like a year and a half.
Yeah,
too,
and
which
then
is
Schwarber
impressive.
hit one against a lefty that set their new record, baseball record, most lefty homers off of left-handed pitching. So yeah, and Boehm's staying hot, and Kemp's been hot since he's come up. So yeah, and now they have 10 different players with 10 or more home runs. So 10 players with double-digit home runs, which I believe has only happened once before in franchise history.
It's wild.
It's crazy. They get a lot of depth. Obviously, Schwarber leads the way, but a lot of guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. And you're starting to see the lineup take shape. I know we talked about this in our last podcast about like that postseason lineup when Turner comes back.
Yep.
And I'm pretty confident now with Bowman, that 4-hole. We've seen him there the last couple nights. I think that's where he's going to stay. And I think Bader goes to 6. We talked about it, but I think Turner's at 1, Schwarber 2, Harper 3, Bohm 4. Then I think Marsh is going to play every day in the postseason. I think he's going to play against lefties.
As he should.
Marsh every day in the 5-hole. Bader every day in the 6-hole. I think JT 7, and then I would do the right field platoon of Kepler or Castellanos. They think whoever left-handed pitcher, you see Castellanos, righty Kepler, and then Bryson and Stott hitting ninth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great 9-hitter.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I think the lineup's taking shape. I would still have some guys like Sosa on the bench that can give him a little pop. We'll see what they do with the other spots with Kemp and Wilson and so on. But yeah, some length in the lineup is what I'm getting at. And especially in that postseason, when you stack it up like that, when you get Turner back and it lengthens it even a little more, I think it's going to be a pretty good lineup with a lot of guys that can do some damage.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. And if the lineup's continuing to click, the only thing that is a little concerning, they were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
They've had a long stretch of that now.
Long stretch.
For like the last 60-something.
Yes, and that is really the big concerning thing going into Red October, and it has been for the last few seasons. Is this team just gets cold, especially with runners in scoring position.
Right.
I hope that's not a thing. If everyone kind of continues to click in this lineup, everything should be good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, a fun game on Wednesday, and then the Phillies ended up clinching. I meant to mention this off the top too. It was their 34th series win with the win on Thursday, which is the most
tied for the most.
Yeah, with that 2011 team. So if they win on Saturday here, they'll have the most series wins in franchise history, which is really cool.
And that's what they always say. It's all about winning series.
Exactly,
winning series.
Topper's a big winning series guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 35 series wins. I mean, you do the math. That's how you get to 95, 96, 97 wins. You take 2 out of 3, you a couple sweeps, and it all adds up. And it's pretty impressive to anytime you can knock off that 2011 team that won 102 games,
that's
that pitching staff and that talent they had on that squad. I think that's notable and
it's impressive.
I think they'll do that. They just need one more win now in the next 2 days, and another win. They'll pass last year's team in wins.
95th win on Friday,
and they can get to 97. That's tied for 4th most all time in club history.
It's crazy.
So, pretty impressive.
That it is. And so kind of shifting gears, not really, but so we mentioned Kyle hit 2 on Wednesday. He's now 2 away from from Ryan Howard. Yep. Does he do it?
I thought coming into this series he would tie him.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to hit home runs. I get it. I thought he might get one tonight. Obviously, Joe Ryan's tough, and they brought in some lefties to face him later in the game. So Mick Abel tomorrow.
I was going to say, what about Mick though?
Yeah, maybe
they see each other because I've seen them face each other in spring training with the live pitching and stuff.
Yeah, he's familiar with Mick, so it wouldn't shock me. I'd be pleasantly surprised if he hits 3 to pass Ryan.
Yeah.
And I've heard people asking questions to Kyle and Rob Thomson about, do you go for the record or do you rest? Like he's a designated hitter.
Correct.
Obviously you can get hit by a pitch, which would be awful, but really the risk of hurting yourself as a designated hitter is far lower than the Saquon Barkley comparison I've seen out.
I was going to say
crazy. Not to jump around, but I think they play him. And also Kyle now has played in every game. So I think he wants to do that.
100%.
Play a guy that's had some injuries in his career. I'm sure playing 162 would be good for him. So trot him out there both days, Saturday, Sunday, give him 8 more at bats, see if he can hit 2 or 3 homers. I think he's going to hit 2. I think they're going to end up tied.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. I think he's going to hit 2 on Saturday.
Ooh. Okay.
Against Mick.
Then go into Sunday. Both against Mick?
Both against Mick.
Okay. And then he goes into Sunday with a chance to do it.
Yep. I think we'll do one in the first inning and then the 4th inning.
All right.
Against Mick.
Okay. Specific.
Book it.
First and 4th against the Mick.
But either way, it's such a remarkable season for Kyle. And we can't say it enough, the season that Kyle Schwarber has had. When he got his 55th on Wednesday, he became just the 4th player in MLB history with 100 walks, 55 RBIs, and 10 stolen bases in the season.
Wow.
He joins Aaron Judge, Barry Bonds, and Babe Ruth.
Wow. Those are 3 all-timers. That's crazy.
Ridiculous.
And speaking of Barry Bonds and Babe Ruth, right now I look just out of curiosity, in baseball history where 56 home runs rank.
Sure.
And I think it's tied for 19th.
Okay.
But if you take out some of the guys that have either been proven to or at least alleged to doubt, I mean, really, you take out because Bonds is up there, Sosa's up there 3 times.
You're right.
McGuire's up there 3 times. I think A-Rod's up there.
Yep.
So really you start wheeling it down to Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, Judge did it a few years ago. Ryan Howard has 58.
Yep.
Cal Raleigh now has 60.
Yep.
And there's not many guys without a hint of Griffey, I think, had 50. I think 56 or 58 one year, maybe both.
Yeah, I think 58.
I think Griffey had 58.
Yeah.
But you can start wheeling out the McGuire's, Sosas, and Bonds of the worlds and A-Rods. You get to, there's not many guys without a hint of performance-enhancing drug accusations that have hit 56 home runs in a season. If that's where it ends, I'm sure we'll be disappointed because he didn't get Ryan. But
it's fine.
56 home runs,
it's
that's
still ridiculous.
Crazy. In baseball history, that's unbelievable, man.
It really is. And again, there's not much to say about Kyle Schwarber this season, other than the fact that it's been a remarkable season for a guy that has deserved all the praise that he got or has gotten this season. And it would be the biggest surprise to not see him in a Phillies uniform next season, especially after the season that he's had this year. Just insane, man. Insane.
No, I agree.
But what a fun storyline with only 2 games remaining in this season. I hope he gets them. But yeah, like you said, even if he doesn't, so be it. It's still an unreal season. Even if he gets to 57, it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
So to wrap up real fast, I wanted to say there's a few things. Actually, real quick thoughts. Are you worried about Jahan Duran?
Yes. Can I wrap up Schwarber real quick?
Yeah, of course.
If he does it Sunday, Schmitty's in the booth.
Yes.
And I believe Howard's been there this whole time.
He's been there. Yes.
So
correct.
I think, in my opinion, I mean, I guess Chuck Klein would have maybe some objection to me saying this.
Yeah.
But like 3 greatest sluggers, modern, in terms of Schwarber, Howard, Schmidt.
Yep.
Like if you look at those single season lists, those guys are up and down it. Obviously they had Greg Lazinski and some other guys that could really beat the ball to the ballpark. But anyhow, it'd be cool to do it with Schmitty in the booth and Howard, assumingly there as well. Sorry.
No.
Duran, yes, I'm concerned.
No, it's cool too, because can you imagine if he does it and like Ryan comes out as he crosses home plate, which he 100% will. Yeah. We know that how the Phillies.
They'll let him do his thing and then they'll trot Ryan out.
Exactly. It'll be so cool, man.
Yeah.
That'd
be
awesome.
great.
But that's 3 of the most prolific hitters in Phillies history.
Yeah, sluggers. I mean, it's crazy.
It's kind of crazy.
But yeah, Duran, like
it's a little worrisome.
Yeah.
There's been obviously Tuesday happened. I was there with my parents. You saw the nail biting. I was nervous as you know what, not for the game, really necessarily for my parents getting home at 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was. And then he comes out and lets the home run up and you're just like, and then even on Friday night against the Twins here,
traffic on the bases.
Yeah, he lets up a pair of base hits and you're just like, oh no, man. Is your confidence kind of wavering?
Yeah, I mean, LA obviously gave us a big home run.
Yeah.
So that's all within like the last week here-ish. So yeah, I mean, I'm not like I don't trust this guy anymore. But when he first got here, I was like, well, this dude's invincible. He's like automatic. Game over if you got the lead after 8 innings. So now I don't feel that way anymore. Like, but who you don't really feel that way about many people in baseball. But I do feel like he's kind of had a few dents now in his armor where other teams are like, okay, like we can attack this guy a little bit. And he kind of got hosed by the ump a few times on Friday night. Some strike 3 calls that weren't, or some strikes that weren't. So I'm a little concerned is probably a strong word. I'm a little, it just makes me a little weary that like he's not quite as invincible as you thought he was. And obviously in October, we've seen Mariano Rivera lose games in October. Anybody can lose games in October. So yeah, it's interesting to see kind of how he's kind of had some issues, and we'll try to correct them. But yeah, it's dicey.
Yeah, which I don't want it to be dicey. Yeah, obviously, but yeah, it's just it isn't that same feeling that I had when he was coming out in the first 10 appearances as a Philly.
Yep,
where it was like, all right, yeah, this game's over. And that's the thing. It's been hard contact too, which that's kind of a concern. But hopefully he can kind of settle in here as Red October comes around. Because I think too, even you add 8,000 more fans, 10,000 more fans than there have been this week, and a packed house,
a lot of energy
with that entrance and all that. Hopefully that kind of propels the best Jahan Duran that we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
I wanted to see real fast too. Did you see, which I want to hit on Christopher Sanchez and Rob Thomson in our kind of preview pod on Sunday. So we will have a pod after the final game of the season on Sunday that will be released on Monday morning. But I just wanted to see, did you see Ken Rosenthal's tweet and story about managers being on the hot seat? And he threw Rob Thompson's name out there.
I did see that. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. And Ken Rosenthal kind of prefaced it with like, he's great, but another early exit could make Dave Dombrowski a little anxious, which sure, in theory, but I don't know who you're going to hire that's going to be any better than this guy in terms of. So no, I mean, God forbid they get swept in the NLDS ugly. Then okay, maybe it's a flame out 2 years in a row in the playoffs, and they're kind of working backwards from World Series to CS to DS. But I would be shocked if that happens. 1 and 2 if Rob Thompson's not managing this team next year. Yeah,
the fact that I don't know, I thought it was kind of crazy that even say that So he includes him in this article, and you said, so the quote was, the low-key Thompson still appears a perfect match for his grizzled veteran players. The question is whether another early exit would make president of baseball operations Dave Dombrowski restless. Yeah. I mean, sure. I don't know about restless, but I'm sure it would inquiry some things, but I don't think it's hey, we should probably fire Topper because
no, I don't know. Again, I don't know who you're bringing in. And frankly, if they lose, I guess it depends on how they lose. If he makes a bunch of questions, but like if they lose the playoffs, it's going to be the postseason. It's going to be because they didn't hit. And at what point? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and these guys love Kevin.
Managers
Long,
exactly. Managers take the fall, just like every sport. Coaches take the fall. Coaches are hired to be fired, but I don't know. I'd be shocked if again I think he's pretty safe regardless of what happens the next few weeks.
I'm with you. Last thing, the Phillies still have a chance to catch the Brewers, so they lose on Friday night. I believe they lost. We should double check that, but I'm pretty sure they were losing on Friday. So that the 1 seed is still there. But I thought a really interesting stat from our friends over at Phillies Tailgate. So the final result of every number 2 seed in the current postseason format. 2024 Guardians lost the ALCS.
Okay.
The 2024 Phillies lost the NLDS. So the Reds did win.
Phillies were a game back. They need to finish ahead of them though because they don't have the tiebreaker.
So the Mets are out.
Yeah, well, the Mets are out of the wild card. They haven't been eliminated,
right now.
But yes, correct.
Yes.
The Reds
currently, as we sit down here on Friday night, aka Saturday morning, the Mets are currently out of playoff spots. So shout out to them. Anyway, going back, so the Phillies lost the NLDS as the 2 seed last year. The Astros lost the ALCS in 2023. The Dodgers lost the NLDS, ALCS with the Yankees in 2022, and then the Braves, obviously in 2022, and lost in the NLDS. So the number 2 seed really hasn't fared too well. In the last, 3 seasons?
Yeah.
The NL number 2 seed has not got past the NLDS. Concerning. This team is built to get past the NLDS, no matter who they're playing, whether it's the Reds or the Dodgers, or it's the Reds or the Mets or the Dodgers or the Cubs or the Padres. My confidence level in this team is sky high, and I believe it is too with you.
Yeah. Yes. But I do think like the Cubs, like be careful what you wish for that top seed because I get like on the surface you want to avoid the Dodgers, and I get it. The Dodgers are very talented. Phillies match up well with the Dodgers. They've had success against the Dodgers.
Correct.
The Cubs and the Padres, those are 2 dangerous teams to me. Like those are 2 teams that are, I think, capable of reaching a World Series. I don't look at them as like wild card teams that are. I think whoever wins, they're going to play each other in a wild card series. Whoever wins that series is going to have some momentum. I think they're 2 talented teams with good managers. So, if you get that 1 seed, you avoid the Dodgers, but here comes the Padres or the Cubs, which I don't think is a walk to the NLCS either. I agree with you. I would expect them to win that series. But whoever you play in the DS, you're going to have to play well.
It's going to have
a short series. Anything can happen. There's going to be a talented team across from you. So we'll see.
And we talked about it too. I mean, the Reds starting rotation, God forbid, if they secure that 6 seed, the Phillies are the 2 seed, and they somehow beat the Dodgers, the Reds kind of scare me too. And that starting rotation, when the Phillies went to Cincinnati, we saw what they can do with Brady Singer and Zach Lytle and Abbott, Andrew Abbott, which still can't believe Christopher Sanchez didn't make the All-Star team over Andrew Abbott, but that's a storyline for another day.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
It's a good squad, another good manager in Cincinnati.
Yep.
So,
Tito.
Yeah, Tito knows his way around October. So, whoever they play, it's going to be tough. But like you said, they have a team that I think is playing well enough, that is balanced enough to get the job done. But you just don't. It's as we've seen, it's a crapshoot, man. Like the Braves were a freight train, the last 22 and 23, and the Phillies finished 15 games behind them in the division, and then knock them off in the DS in convincing fashion. Like they smoked them both those years. Especially the games here were never close. So I don't see that happening to the Phillies, but you just don't know who gets hot, who has a bad game, who matches up with who. So we'll see. But I like the Phillies' chances. I do. I think they have just as good a chance as anybody to represent the National League in the World Series.
Let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. It's going to be fun. And can't believe we're sitting here with only 2 games left in the regular season.
Yeah.
We're only 2 games remaining too for a very significant matter.
Yeah, we're going to wait for that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So
we've been
it's our little inside
season.
joke. Yeah, our little tease for the inside joke between me and Sean.
Yep.
Just got to keep racking up hits for 2 more games, and they'll be set. But
they'll be set.
Just can't believe it's already over, dude. It's an exciting season, and as we gear up for Red October, there will be multiple Phillies Talk podcasts here to get you set for Red October, and the Phillies postseason should be fun. So for this one, though, we're going to wrap it up now. So thanks for that. I'm so bad at ending these.
Yeah, you got to land the plane.
You just got to land the plane. Just land the plane.
Yep.
Enjoy your Saturdays. It's packed with sports.
Right.
There's so many fun storylines this entire weekend in terms of MLB races. You have the Ryder Cup. I mean, some of these races for the divisions are going to get exciting. The AL East is fun. The AL Central is even more fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great weekend of sports all around, and including in baseball. But thank goodness the Phillies kind of back and they can just cruise in next week.
Yeah.
And be ready for the NLDS next Saturday. So for Sean Kane, we're landing this freaking plane. That's Sean Kane. I'm Spencer McKercher. Thanks for listening to the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota.